Hi, well, it's Monday morning and I'm down on the end of Marlborough Road. I did Marlborough Road yesterday talking about the railway and the history, and I'm down here today for an entirely different reason. I just had to deliver something. But I thought I might as well video a bit while I'm here. As long as my battery lasts. So I'm coming off the end of Marlborough Road now into Hinksey Park, which I've filmed quite a few times before. And it looks as though it's been raining quite a bit because of the puddles. It's December the 23rd, I think. So 3 weeks or so into what they call meteorological winter. Weather people in the UK divide our seasons into 4 quarters, 4 lots of 3 months each, and the winter one starts on December the 1st. Luckily it doesn't feel too wintry, it's very still. So although I think the air is quite cold, it's not carrying too much heat away. And there's a good number of dog walkers out, and since the children are now out of school for the Christmas holidays, also quite a lot of families with their kids. That's the South Oxford Community Centre with its decorations, and it seems to be open. It looks as though something's happening. They've got their markets, but it isn't that. That's a private door. I suspect they're just cleaning up. The streets are very quiet. A lot of people must have gone away for Christmas already.
It's more of a sort of local.
Now, I always think of this part of Oxford as being divided into 2 halves, with this street, Lake Street, as the dividing line, or maybe the Devil's Backbone and the railway bridge over there as the dividing line. Because although Marlborough Road comes to an end, another road takes its place when I get to the end of this path. Just for orientation, I'm walking roughly south, and the Abingdon Road is over there to my left, parallel with this path. And that is the bridge over the lake and over the railway, which I've filmed before. I think I last went over it when I crossed and then went off to the right up what they call Electric Road to Osney. Yet more dogs. Labradors are still very popular. Lots of people wearing woolly hats. That's the south end of the lake. It looks as though they're decorating the church. Right, well, I came to the end of Marlborough Road, but this is the road that, as it were, takes its place and that goes down to parallel the bottom of the Abingdon Road. And I presume, I haven't looked this up yet, but I presume it too was built where the first railway used to be. I don't know exactly how the line of the railway changes as you go down this road and then further. Some interesting brickwork there, rather nice. And as with Marlborough Road, there's quite a variety of houses, but these are obviously rather different styles. Some of them at least are built later, I think. And this is Whiteham Street. Marlborough. Hi. Yes, sorry, somebody I used to know. I was telling her about my video yesterday, and she was saying that yes, those houses were all built by one builder. Those were built by one builder, and these are much more recent, as I suspected. I'll look out the details and do a proper history of Whiteham Street sometime. But it's quite an attractive street. Oh, I guess I should add, for people who don't know, that Whiteham is a village to the north of Oxford, 2 or 3 miles north. It's very close to Wolvercote, which lies at the north end of Portmeadow. There are quite a lot of side roads here that go off to Abingdon Road, and they have an interesting variety of houses too, and I'll look at those sometime. I think there were 1 or 2 of that style in Marlborough Road, but not as many as here. And having said that Whiteham Road is named after the village of Whiteham, I suppose I should add that Marlborough Road was named after the Duke of Marlborough, who had extensive landholdings in the area. Dukes always seem to end up with a lot of land. I think it's rather unfair. I'd much rather that I had it.
Hey, yeah.
Ooh, colour. That's quite striking. And a pink gate. There's a definite tang to the air. It smells as though someone is burning wood. South Oxford Baptist Church, 1938. Houses are like clothes in this country. It's very rare to find something that isn't brown, white, or, well, I was going to say black, but in fact they don't normally paint houses black. You don't often get that colour though. I wouldn't be surprised if these were originally council houses. For people out of the UK, council houses are a particular form of social housing. They were built by local councils and rented at prices considerably lower usually than it would cost to rent a house privately, and they gave decent quality houses to people who wouldn't have been able to afford them any other way. Unfortunately, a lot of council houses were sold off by after laws pushed by Margaret Thatcher in the 80s, and there hasn't been very much council house building since, though it may be that will change under Starmer now that we've had the election and got a Labour Party in power. But anyway, that's what council houses are. It's hard to tell though, because Thatcher allowed council houses to be sold off, so people who lived in them, some people sold their houses and got a permanent private dwelling at a very low cost, and then quite often made a lot of money by selling it more expensively to somebody else. So you can't always tell just by looking at a house or an area whether it's now council or not. So now I'm at the bottom of the Abingdon Road and I'm coming north up it. I'm not really thinking about where I'm going. Well, let's go along Canning Crescent and then get onto Donnington Bridge Road. I'm just a little bit south of Donnington Bridge Road here. And here we have a different style of house again. It's really quite a nice morning now. I'm not going to go as far as saying that I can feel heat of the sun, but it's still and only a bit nippy, which is about as good as you can hope for at this time of year. That guy needs to tune up his exhaust, it stinks. So I'm now coming out of Canning Crescent onto Donnington Bridge Road, which goes off to the right to Iffley Road. And I've been under Donnington Bridge a number of times and on it a few times in the videos. There was one in which I looked at the speed sign and asked what was so important about the digits 88, that it seems to be ready all the time to show them. So Donnington Bridge is what I'm standing on now, and I believe I've read that it was the first road bridge to be built over the Thames in 5 centuries. I think it was built in 1972 or thereabouts, replacing a concrete footbridge which had been built in the 30s. And before then, there wasn't a crossing at all. Maybe there was a ferry somewhere. Several bridges take the place of ferries in Oxford, such as the one that carries the Marston Ferry Road from Summertown. And you can just see here how much the geography of Oxford is connected with water. See how much water the bridge has to cross. Really, it's several bridges rolled into one. And this is the main span of Donnington Bridge that crosses the main navigational channel of the Thames. I have a bit of a worry when I see signs like weak bridge. The way things work here nowadays, it probably means that the highway authorities will discover that the bridge can't carry traffic and they'll close it and announce that it's going to be closed for 6 months, but nothing will happen, and it will end up being closed for 3 years, and all the drivers will get very upset. See Botley Road for a worked example. So there's the Thames going north. That's the 88 that I mentioned on the speed sign. And I always assumed it has something to do with Back to the Future, because his DeLorean took off at 88 miles an hour, took off into time. And this is the Donnington Bridge plaque. I was wrong, sorry, it wasn't 1972, it was 1962. Opened by Viscount Hailsham on the 22nd of October 1962. And I'm getting battery warnings from my phone. I didn't have time to recharge anything yesterday after the Marlborough Road walk, so I'm going to end here. And that was the bottom of Marlborough Road, through Hinksey Park, along Whiteham Street, through Bertie Park, and then across the Abingdon Road, round Canning Crescent and onto Donington Bridge Road and Donnington Bridge. See you next time.